is up, people? My name is Stahv, and you're in my living room. Today, I have Con Carter, the man who I have not met personally before this.
This is the first time.
First time we're meeting.
Yep.
But he is a screenwriter.
Yep.
Who has a new project that he's in the process or about to pitch.
Well, actually, so the announcement today, like last night, I literally had a little staycation just because I had to get myself in the right mindset. So I spoiled myself thinking that today would be the big announcement, but actually the guy. So basically, we're getting Riz Ahmed, who's a pretty big actor. He actually just won an Oscar for a short film about 2 weeks ago. But basically, his team has kind of latched onto my project, and I thought today would be the answer, so I wish I could have more exciting news. That's why I was super excited to book. But
yeah. I mean, this will drop Sunday morning. So depending on, the next couple days,
okay, yeah.
it might be...
So what happened, the guy, it all started from a DM, which is great, on Instagram. I just put together a little collage. Well, I specifically wrote a part for Riz because he's a big actor in the UK, but he's really passionate and he's an activist about representation, especially there's Arabs, especially refugees right now. The tensions are kind of high in the UK.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's where he's from. So in 2017, he spoke with the House of Commons, basically saying like, hey, if you want race tensions to go down, we should probably put more of our people on the screen.
Absolutely. Representation is a huge, huge thing.
Exactly.
But before we get too deep into the actual bulk of your content, for my listeners who know nothing about you, could you explain a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I started 7 years ago writing screenplays. My very first one got me a studio pitch with Fox, and I'm very grateful that it got a little bite because I don't know if I would have stuck with it for 7 years without basically that reward.
Sure.
If I didn't get interest right away and just validation that you're on the right path. So yeah, my first script I showed my sister. She happened to know this guy that was writing for the show Homeland on Showtime.
Okay.
And he was a script coordinator. He read it and really just passed it up to his boss, and his boss set me up with a studio pitch with Fox, and ever since then I've been plugging away.
Wow. Yeah, that's to get a hit right off the bat like that, that's probably normally a pretty challenging thing to do.
Well, yes, and because of that, it came so fast that it went away so fast.
Okay.
I went in for the pitch, was a 21-year-old kid, and like I said, I wasn't even pitching my things yet.
Sure.
I showed my sister, and all of a sudden I get a pitch out of nowhere. And at the time, they really just wanted to buy my script, and they saw how unprepared I was as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So they just wanted to take the script and
use it for their own purposes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they offered me a low ball, and it was my very first script at the time. So that's my baby.
Right, and you don't know going in, I'm sure, the ins and outs
exactly.
of the industry.
And because I had such a quick first bite, I just assumed that they just offered me something. That means Netflix and HBO and
somebody else out there. Would
if I got validation from Fox, others would call,
Sure.
And it was the exact opposite. My manager, that at the time for 2 weeks, he was upset that I didn't sell, and he dropped me, and the phone went dry.
Damn.
But it threw me back to the drawing board, which is a good thing, because since then I was like, okay, if before they weren't taking me seriously, they thought I just had a lucky story, so I should write more series and prove to them.
Prove to them and yourself probably.
Exactly. And the good thing is, if I did work on that script, all my like creative imagination would have went to that project. And in the long run, now once I do sign my deal, I have 6 series to work with right away. So
absolutely. What was your first script about?
It's a great way to describe it is I take my reality and just kind of ask myself, what if? Okay. And it could be a ton of, it could be a positive what if, it could be a negative. But just like a little imagination, a little dramatized, characteristics for sure.
But based on your life and perspective?
Well, I write from my point of view for the most part. Like everyone has their own point of view on life and their own beliefs. So I just kind of use creativity to set up situations where I can find that voice.
Interesting.
So I usually write backwards, forward, or like I write backwards because the punchline is kind of what matters the most.
And when you say write backwards, you're...
Like for a scene, if you're watching an intense scene, you remember the final line, the final moment more than whatever they said
leading up to that.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, so as soon as I know that point, or what I need to say for the scene, I just write that, and then I ask myself, well, how would that conversation come up? What would they say to make it happen? And so we can prove that point.
That's a cool creative process. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't think of many other examples where I guess they start at the end goal and work back. A lot of art and a lot of creativity is often just building upon, you know, previous things.
Yeah,
so to work backward like that's cool.
I think it just helps with, I mean, today's social media and everything, like everything's one line, like captions for photos and things like that. So, and I listened to a lot of rap growing up, so I'm used to like Lil Wayne one-liners and things like that.
Favorite artist? Who is?
Drake. And the funny thing about you asking is the whole kind of marketing scheme for my career, I guess. If you had a gun to my head and asked what my big goal or if everything goes my way, what would I do? I want a executive screenwriting deal with Dreamcrew Productions, and that's ran by Drake.
Sure.
It's just another avenue that his team is picking up money. So they have shows like Euphoria. Everyone knows Euphoria now. And then Top Boy as well.
And that's all through Drake, huh?
Yep. So it's his production company. They find shows that they believe in and that they feel inspired by and that they like.
Sure.
And then they basically sell it to the highest bidder, whether that's HBO or Apple, Netflix.
Wow, yeah, I had no idea he was even in that lane.
Yeah, so it worked out well that the guy, I mean, I feel like my mind is a library of rap lyrics, and then I just take those lines and I apply it to life. So just growing up, especially without a father figure, I like clung on to these rap lyrics, and not only that, but just like, I mean, Jay-Z, his trilogy of rap is called The Blueprint for a reason. There's like a code that they pass down, just kind of, it's ambition, it's confidence, it's
business. More than just rap.
Oh yeah, it's literally the blueprint. Like you can just, if you listen to the right artist, I mean, there's a reason you have Kanye hanging up on the wall. Like
Absolutely.
He probably gave you a lot of confidence to do like in your life. So Drake being my favorite artist, I know how his mind works because I listen to his art every day. Especially writing. It's really hard for me to listen to rap when I'm writing unless I know it by heart. Because then I can kind of like tune it out. Like my mind's not busy listening; it's creating instead.
But it gets you in the space to create.
Exactly. And it's like, if it's ambitious, if it's good art, exactly. So it just helps the mind flow go. But I've studied his career and it's not just him, his whole friend group. And
he's got a team of people. I mean, everybody at the top has a team of people equally as dedicated.
Exactly. And it makes perfect sense for them to want to pick up more shows because that's more people on his team getting fed. It's more jobs that he can give out to his family, the the whole production team. That's just more bags of money going to OVO. So out of like a manifestation or just complete, well, it was calculation too. I wrote, it's basically like Entourage. Have you seen that show?
I had a few episodes here and there. I haven't watched it too.
But I asked myself, I was like, okay, if my screenwriting deal pops off tomorrow, what would I do? And instantly I was like, well, me and my friends are going to have fun. We're going to live the life
take
that I want.
The top with me.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has watched a movie or a TV series. Like, there's a lot of credits at the end. That's a lot of names. Like, I can find something for my friends to do and do well.
Oh, absolutely. That's a cool. I mean, I think everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people want the same thing. You know, you want to take your friends, your family to the top and succeed at whatever you're doing.
Yeah, if you can, why not? Especially if, I feel like that's what those long nights of work is for. But so I was like, okay, what would I do if my TV series sells for a bundle deal, or if I get signed to Dreamcrew? And then I was like, okay, I'll write the agent I want. I wrote him as a character.
Interesting.
So then, okay, now if you represent me and you pitch it to the studio network or to Dreamcrew, like I want this specific agent to do, who I picked out because he's best friends with the guy that runs Dreamcrew.
Because now they have some skin in the game.
Exactly, because then all of a sudden, Adelaide Park, which is the agency that this agent works at, if there's a TV show that shows behind the scenes at Adelaide Park and everyone sees this agent and knows him by name, that just boosts up his client list. Like
another addition to
and everything that OVO is doing in Toronto and everything that Drake and his best friends have worked their whole lives doing, all the great things, if they have a show to show behind the scenes with a narrative, like, oh, this is Dreamcrew Productions. Now everyone, at least anyone who watches the show, knows Dreamcrew Productions.
There's another connection there.
Exactly. So, and not only that, but like the people that work there are his friends. So now they know his friends. They don't just know Drake. They know the whole OVO crew.
It's some cool motivation. I mean, I didn't know that Drake even played a role in the industry, but it's cool for everybody listening. I mean, how much detail can you go into the script you wrote? Can you touch on any parts of it without?
The reason
when you try to push a project like this, are you at any point ever like holding back certain parts of the script to try to?
Yeah. Well, okay. The reason I can talk about two of them are because they're like so unique that other people can't really like just take and run with.
Sure.
An example of one that I have to adjust or change. I worked at the Boys and Girls Club for a while because I knew I was going to write this script, and it's basically, I thought in my head, like, oh, it would be like The Office, but with troubled youth at like a Boys and Girls Club environment. And now there's a show, Abcott Elementary, which is it's an amazing show, and it's on Hulu now, and it shows an elementary school. I was going to write one about like a after-school club, and I did write that. But now, like, it's a
concept that's already out there.
Well, yes, but at the same time, it's kind of a good thing because now that people see that, okay, Hulu has Epcot Elementary and it's a big hit, now HBO is like, okay, where's our Epcot Elementary?
Sure,
and it's like, okay, mine's similar, but it's different. But the two, like my very first one, I feel like everyone's first project is like everything that's on their chest that like push them to pursue art, or like everything they have to say.
Yeah, it's their first kind of passion.
Yeah, they write what they know.
Yeah.
So it's basically all the trauma, I guess, in my life, but then I just dramatized it in a way of, it was me coping too, like me writing these out. Like if I have to make a character that reminds me of myself, if he has to go through something and heal from it, then I have, like, as I'm writing, I'm doing it as well. So it kind of started out as like therapy, but at the same time, I knew it, like, we all have one chance at life. So I feel like if someone had a gun to my head and it said, what's your best bet on, like, what you're supposed to be?
You're going to write what you know and write what you've experienced.
Yeah, well, first I'm going to decide that I want to be a writer. And then, like, so it's like, okay, if this is my best chance at life, like, I should try to be the best at it.
Fair. Like, because you sent me some of your scripts and then a bit of treatment for
Yep.
It's called. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, the show is called Be Good or Be Good at It, and then the second show is called Crew Love. That's what I said, the marketing scheme.
Gotcha.
But it's basically, so you're gonna be watching the show that I created, and then right after, the same like night that one episode drops, right after it would play the show that follows my writing career. So, like, of me and my friends, and, like, showing behind the scenes of that agency and dreamcrew Productions.
Got it. So that's end goal is to be almost.
It's basically like a self-oiling machine. Like, if you watch any of my 5 shows that have nothing to do with my writing career, and you like them, and you find out there's a show that shows, like, behind the
process.
Scenes. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
almost documentary style.
Yeah, but narrative and, like, still storytelling, just, like, more like my actual real life problems rather than just, like, a fairy tale land I created for TV. So then, yeah, and then whoever watches the show at, like, a comedy that follows me and my friends, like, impressive friends doing fun stuff, being behind the scenes at Drake's production company. If you watch that and you see us working on the shows that are actually coming out and being released, you'll probably go and watch those shows.
Interesting. So it's like you kind of want to create a world beyond just the actual TV series. You want to document the whole process and to show it at face value.
Basically, like, what social media is. Like, everyone that follows Leonardo, well, I guess Leo's bad because he just posts about, it's never about himself. It's always about, like, the planet, and as he should. But, okay, Will Smith.
Yep.
Controversial
figure at the moment.
But, yeah, you watch his movie, and then you go to his Instagram to see what his life is like. Like, at the end of the day, he walks off set, so, like, you would be watching my art about the shows I've created, and then after that, it's like, oh, he has a fun personal life, too. Like, oh, his friends are funny as hell. They're impressive, and, oh, shit, this is a cool agent. Like, this is a cool production company to work for.
Interesting, and it gives people kind of the insight to...
Well, okay, what's your favorite TV show?
Oh, gosh. My favorite all time, probably That 70s Show.
Okay. Do you know who wrote it?
I don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't.
Why is that?
That's a great question.
How much joy did that show give you?
A ton.
Exactly.
A ton of joy.
So all of my work, you won't just see the credits. Like,
you'll see the people behind it.
Exactly.
And how it came to life. That's really, really cool, actually. Because the more I think about it, the less I...
And especially nowadays, like, I mean, with social media and stuff, there's a lot of people that have a lot of followers, and it's like, what do they do?
Sure. I mean, I'm thinking of, like, all the series that I watch normally and the people behind it that I have no idea who they are or
exactly.
what they do.
Even though like, it's their thoughts, their purposeful topics that they brought up, exactly what I said about those one-liners, like, those are their feelings that they feel like they need to say that.
Sure.
So it would make sense that, okay, if you like my shows, you're probably going to like me. So
yeah, absolutely. As far as, you obviously take a lot of inspiration and write from your perspective. So I know the setting of your most recent one was in Oshkosh.
Yeah. So, okay. So the purpose... I'm glad you noticed that.
Absolutely.
And exactly when I said all those credits have jobs for my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically wrote all my series to be filmed in Wisconsin. The Crew Love is half. Dream Crew Productions is in Toronto, so you're gonna see half the time you'll be in Toronto. Maybe if we're working in LA for on set, we'll be there. But like most of it is going to be half filmed in Toronto, half filmed in Green Bay or Wisconsin in general.
And you're purposefully doing that because
the local economy matters, and there's people and artists in our city that are definitely worthy. Like Bryce, ZL, Adobe, they could easily be working on a project, especially 100%. If there's like TV series being filmed in their city. That means all these extras for whatever scene in whatever TV show you're watching, like those are real people. I can just give a ton of opportunities to people in Green Bay and people in Milwaukee and people in Madison because
where does that come from? Your passion to sort of, not give back to the community, but get the community involved and more in the spotlight.
I think the best example, and it's so funny that like my friends have heard this a million times and they roll their eyes because it sounds corny, but Finding Nemo, how do they get out of the net? Everyone swims down.
Right.
If everyone wasn't swimming down, all of them would have been dead or caught, whatever. So, like, collaboration, like, working as a team
is the only option.
Yeah, and, I mean, like I said, I just, like, I'm a provider at heart. That's what I grew up without a dad. He didn't leave our family with anything. So, like, that was the cornerstone of my personality. So, like, I got to take care of my mom. I got to take care of my sister. And then, like, that same mindset, just, like, anyone you care about after that, like, it just trickles on. And it's like, I see him and I see his strength. I see potential in this person. Like, Adobe could be on a TV set. So if I make it, and he actually brought it up on your episode, too. He said that he has to send the elevator back down.
Yes, yep. Adobe is so humble in that way because he's already sort of doing that on a smaller scale, granted, but it's so important to kind of nurture the community we come from and to support anybody in their ventures, whether it's podcasting or screenwriting or music videos. Yeah,
so yesterday, I thought today was the day that I got that big news, so I was like, I want to hurry up, set up a schedule with a local Green Bay podcaster. So then, if I do sign my deal or when I sign my deal and anyone that becomes a fan of me in the future, they want to see a podcast that Khan had or was in before he made it, like what mindset was he in before all the success. All of a sudden, then they pop up in this living room and all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah, no, it's a mutual thing because when I think of why I do podcasting and why it's so important to me, it's kind of on the same level as that is. I would love to just give a platform and give back, but also to connect other creatives that most likely, I shouldn't say most likely, but don't often get the chance to tell their story or to connect with other people. And it's all about the platform.
And I'm like a huge local spend guy. Like there's enough talent in everyone's city. I don't care if you think so or not. And especially with Green Bay, I feel like because it was a small town, Midwest, like we're known for being nice. We're the safest city in America. Also the drunkest, which is or like a little weird. But But at the same time, we all kind of grew up with the same set of morals, and then there's not as much opportunity here. So all these impressive people, they just moved to bigger cities. Like Bryce Van Lanen, he's the video guy for the Brewers right now. Mm-hmm. Cold as hell. So good at what he does, but he had to go to Milwaukee to make that happen.
Right. He couldn't. Yeah.
So like if I could literally just scroll through my Instagram, there are so many people that I've met throughout my life that are in other cities right now, but they're from Green Bay. Probably in like 15, 20 years when they have that money in their bank account where they want to just like chill out and raise a family, they'll probably come back, especially if they have family ties with their parents and things like that.
Oh, absolutely.
But if we never even I mean, I'm all for traveling, and I think people should go to the city they're called to. But at the same time, like, if you just build a home front where, like, they have a reason to come back, which if there's 6 series being filmed in this state, there's going to be a lot of opportunity just because, like, it automatically puts it on a more accepted pop culture level.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know of any other series currently being filmed in Wisconsin? I mean, have you done any research as to...
There's none that are, like, actually on, like, HBO or anything. But that seems stupid because... And actually... So when yesterday, I got the little year reminder on Snapchat. So I met with the mayor, and I was like, hey, you can easily get a call back. I'm a random guy, so if I call an agency and they're just like, oh, another kid's like turning in a script.
Sure.
We might call him back, we might not. If the mayor of Green Bay, and despite that we're only a city of 100,000, people know Green Bay and the name of Green Bay because of the Packers, so they think like, okay, that's at least an established city, which it is. Even though on game day it shows empty streets, but that's because everyone's inside watching the Packer game.
Literally everybody in the city is either in their home
or at a bar. Yeah, so like the overhead shot always seems like it's dead here, but it's like everyone's just tuned in, as we should be. I don't even know what the fuck I was saying. Okay. So I told the mayor, I was like, hey, you make one call for me, like, they'll probably get a call back, and I already have the work and plan, like, in place to, like, just need that connection or, like, conversation to happen. And this could have happened a year ago, but he just never made the call.
Interesting.
And I'm not trying to call him out right now.
It's
been on my, chest for a minute.
There is something to be said about, obviously... You want to receive the right support from the people who
are elected.
Yeah, who are there to help the city and do what's best for the city. And it's such a small gesture to get somebody to...
make a phone call. Yeah. I'm not telling you to spend, give me $30,000 or anything like that for a grant. I'm saying make one call or have someone in your office do it. And not only that, it'd be one thing like, oh, I can't just, help everyone in the city pursue their dreams. I get that. But if there's 6 series being filmed in Wisconsin, you know how many young people from across the country are going to go to our colleges? And we've got 3 in the city. So you immediately bring young people to your city when the local economy is drying up because everything that's going on in the world. So now you have actually a nightlife where there's more people out, so there's more drivers. Those drivers have riders now. Those bartenders that are working are getting tipped. The bars are making money, and you need money in the local circulation.
Sure. Do you ever have people disagreeing with your methods of trying to do something like this?
Yeah, but I'm a stubborn guy.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm the only reason I ask is because I think in Green Bay, especially, there is kind of a culture that likes to shoot down creative work.
We're a blue-collar city, so it's like, I feel like sometimes if you offer a smarter way to work, they think you're, being lazy.
Sure.
And I'm all for working smarter, not harder, even though I work really hard too. But I just think because it's such a quiet, family-first town, people get stagnant and complacent, but the whole city was built off the Packers. There's overview shots, they build Lambeau in the middle of a field. Now there's a whole city around it. Yeah, and what was that? It was a group of guys that were like, okay, I have an idea. It's out of the box, but they all dedicated their lives to it, and they brought a team to a farmland.
Sure.
Or they brought a city to a farmland.
Yeah.
Because a group of guys got together and they were like, fuck it, we can do it. Why not? If the NFL right now, started their league and we're like, oh, we need 32 teams, where should we put them? What cities? Green Bay would not have been picked.
Yeah.
But now it's literally the biggest, it's the biggest team in Europe. It's the biggest team in Canada. It's the biggest team in America. That's why that's why Rodgers stayed. And now we have the best football player in the state, and we have the best basketball player in the state. That doesn't happen. Like, Giannis is the only one that might pass LeBron or Jordan, whoever you put here as your top one. But and like, we have Aaron Rodgers in the same, like, he was courtside last night. That doesn't just happen. Like,
sure.
Stars are in our favor right now. We just have to take advantage of it. Like, the energy's hot. Like,
it seems like you're using kind of your passion for screenwriting to almost
provide.
Yeah,
for the local economy. That's the intentions.
A much bigger goal than I think most people would have. Where does that come from? Again, just providing, but
but I mean, providing at the end of the day, but at the same time, like, okay, how I view life, like, okay, 7 years working on a side hobby when people are looking at you like, what are you doing with your life? You're sitting at home writing shit, especially what you said before, like, people are quick to cut things down.
Absolutely.
And plus, like, 7 years without like actual like return. Like, I didn't even get a check yet. Like, I finally got the meeting I need, and everything's finally starting to happen. But like, this is 7 years in the making.
Yeah.
But every time I like thought I wanted to give up, I would like meet someone impressive, and I just, like, as an artist, I think you see potential very easy. Like, you should have an eye for potential, because that's how you create stories anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I just met very impressive people and
got inspired off of that. And
well, okay, I watch TV or you can check your phone, and all these people that you're looking up to, all these celebrities, I have met plenty of impressive people in my life that are more impressive than these celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, me saying, oh, I should put a camera on the people I care about, people I think are impressive, like, or write stories with them. Like, I love Green Bay, so it's like I want to show it off. Like, I don't know.
No, that is, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think we need a ton more of that, and to have such a vision and the wherewithal to know, hey, this is more than just, a TV series.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's literally providing a lifestyle for a lot of people you care about. And just the place that you grew up. Like, if everyone just, like, focused on at least contributing, like, I'm not saying live in your hometown forever, but at least contribute something. Like, everyone you met in life, or at least in your childhood, any positive connection you made, like, you should put something back because of that. Like,
interesting. Are you a big karma believer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I am. But I also think, like, destiny's waiting for you, but you just have to act on it. If you don't act, like, you miss out on your destiny. Like, that's how I think. But you have to put something into the universe, or you have to put action into the world to get action back.
Gotcha.
Like,
I read through your entire treatment of the show, and I'm seeing a lot of parallels between the way you speak and the way you write.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny. Okay, this is like my first time in front of a camera, like, actually talking about my art. And like I said, the last 7 years, it's been like something that people frown upon, and now I just have the confidence because it's like, okay, everything's starting to happen. So it's like,
sure, it gives you
like,
that
I can
little
finally
boost.
like be like, I am a screenwriter, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting paid. Like,
are you doing? I mean, obviously, you would love to be doing it full time. Are you doing it full time now, or do you have side gigs that?
So, this is a valuable lesson, and I'm very passionate about it. If you are not, wherever you're working, if that's not where you want to be, you have to at least give your time. Like, you have to add time to your scheme and, like, plan to be somewhere else. So, like, you could try to have the most impressive job so you can brag to your friends. But if you're working 6 days, 7 days a week, that's the only job that you're ever going to, like, you're kind of plateauing.
Well, yeah, it's probably more than anything else just a time balance. How you
no, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So for me, I knew that, okay, this is my passion, and I was working at Lodge Kohler as a guest service coordinator. But I was working 6 days a week, and I had no time to write. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, if I'm here all the time trying to maintain my image and my like acceptance in society, I would have no time to write, and the future I want will never happen. So, my boy Tyler, who loves strip clubs, we went to a preseason game, and afterwards, me, Tyler, and Kyler, and his girlfriend knows about this, so I'm not exposing shit. But we walked into Oval, and I saw one of the security guys, literally, he was watching cops on his phone, just chilling. And I was like, holy shit, if I worked here, I'd be making good money, and I would have all my focus when I'm on the clock is towards my writing.
Sure, you can think and
exactly, you can
process.
think, and literally, okay, so it is hard to like write when other people are near me. But for writing, you have to research the project. You have to find out the formula and the like skills to actually make a good script. So when I'm at work, I'm just watching the computer, or I'm doing research. I'm either reading scripts, I'm either listening to interviews about like other artists or screenwriters, or like doing the marketing things, because that's what sucks. And me and Mitch, the guy that did that, we're just talking about this. Yeah, we were just talking about this last night. Like, it's gonna be so nice once I don't have to do the tedious shit.
Yeah.
Like, if I could just focus on writing and just write, which is exactly what's going to happen once I get this deal, then boom, I get 40 hours. I'm not at a 9-to-5 job for 40 hours a week, so I get that time back, and I can use it exactly how I want to. But at the same time, oh shit, where was I going with this? I'll have, like, I won't be making PowerPoints. I won't be focused on, like...
Oh, so you don't enjoy the process beyond just writing?
I like definitely the look and the tone and the taste, but at the same time, yeah, like, I want to be able to tell someone this is what I'm looking for, like, this is what I want it to look like, and because they're going to be good at their jobs, they're going to know what I'm talking about, and then they're going to make that happen and actually put that together.
Yeah, as a creative myself, I mean, it's extremely limiting to have a vision, know where you want to take it, but not always know the best way to do that.
Yeah, and the podcast you had with ZL, he even said, he was like, I'm one person. Like, it's a time thing. Like,
oh, yeah.
So for me, my time is most valuable when I'm writing. So I would have an assistant who's sending emails to people I want to work with, people I want to network with, especially right now, like, when you're undiscovered, you have to do something to get discovered. Like, I had to figure out that Dream Crew production marketing scheme, because, like, you don't know how else to get on. Like,
sure. Yeah, you obviously have to understand an industry before you intend to dominate it.
Exactly. Exactly. Intend to dominate.
But the whole, obviously, I think any creative would love just to point fingers and to say, trust me enough where you can do this. And
that's what showrunner does, though.
Yeah. Do you
so it's kind of perfect. It's like, I know that, okay, if Adobe's the video guy or the director, I'll be like, this is a script, make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, you know me, you know what I like, make it happen.
Okay.
Like, and that's exactly what a writer does right now. Like, obviously, there's certain points and certain preferences that I'm gonna make sure are on there because it's my art. Like, and I do see my vision a certain way. But at the same time, like, that's why if you have collaboration, especially if it's with other artists that you trust and that know you, they'll know your vision, like, because they know you.
Yeah, it's a great thing to...
Dude, that's why, I swear, like, Green Bay has it all. Like, once I get my writing deal, Bryce, Adobe, ZL, they're going to be working on every project with me. Like,
hell yeah.
And that's going to be... And don't you do... I know you as a podcast, but you do video stuff too, right?
Yes. A lot of my stuff is kind of archived and hidden away in various places. But I do, video, photo. I mean,
I literally, like, found you last week, and I was like, oh, bro, I'm literally about to sign a writing deal. Like, I've been looking for a Green Bay podcaster. But And then I saw that you already did one with Adobe and ZL, who I've I follow them like crazy. So I was just like, oh shit, like perfect timing.
They're all like close creatives that I've kind of worked with from the start, and a lot of my journey has kind of been, on the low. I don't really get in front of the camera much. I never really talked out, too. And
so if
I'm seeing a lot of positive things come from me just getting in front of a camera and talking with people exactly like yourself.
Yeah, and what's crazy is as like self-conscious as people are about like putting their art out, because it is like a side that most people don't know you as, because they know you as whatever job title you have at the moment. They don't realize you're a whole other person. But the good thing about when you have the courage to like just be like, no, this is me, this is what I care about, all of a sudden, bam, now you have other people that gravitate towards you that feel the exact same way. And that's when I said I like Green Bay, because of I feel like we all have been raised with a good set of morals here. Like, there's a reason Adobe is supportive of your work. Like, I feel like the artists here have that moral code, and that's why they're like, oh, I would want someone to help me with my platform. I'm going to help other people with theirs. Like,
I completely agree.
That's why you see the same people reposting. Like, okay, whenever Mitch has some amazing piece of work, like the Honest thing, there's ZL in the caption. There's me in the caption. There's probably you, or comment section. There's probably you in the comment section. Bryce is reposting it. Jack LeCount is really supportive. Like,
no, there is a tight group kind of forming. And unfortunately, it has not always been like that. I know for a large part of when I was getting started, there wasn't the largest community out there that was kind of supporting each other. And we all kind of came together at once, but shortly after, I mean, not even a year went by, and the problem with a lot of creative personalities is there can sometimes be a ton of drama behind all of it.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. It's art, and like I said before, like, everyone has their own visions, but at the same time, it's like, it's the swim down thing. Like,
I would love if everybody thought that way.
Exactly. Like, and it's so simple. That's why it's just like...
No, preach it, man.
Like, if Adobe makes a video for, like, Polo G tomorrow, and all of a sudden now he's, like, one of the biggest music directors in the game, or whatever he wants to do, or if Nike says, hey, we're sorry, here's a job instead. Whatever. Like, his success, now everyone that he knows is talented is, like, connected to his network.
Yeah, love it.
So it's like, all right, we have the Badgers, we have the Bucks, we have the Packers, we have the Brewers. Like, all these Wisconsinites love cheering people on. They love supporting greatness when it comes to their sports teams. It's like, I mean, Giannis calls basketball art. If you just support your other artists, it's like, okay, now, like, okay, if there was a rapper that made it from Green Bay and he becomes friends with other rappers, now he can say, hey, when you're booking your tour dates, make a stop in my home city. Like,
it's all just a domino effect.
Exactly. Jack Harlow's doing it literally in Louisville right now. Like, Drake in Toronto, the blueprint I grew up like studying, he put on the weekend. He put on Party Next Door. Like, there's a whole empire built just because one person made it.
Sure, but at the same time, there are a ton of people all around the world trying to do the exact same thing.
I know. But that's why, like, if you work, the team that works together is probably more likely to get that done.
Right.
Because you build your resources and you network sideways rather than always trying to network up.
Yeah, I mean, your energy is absolutely contagious. Yeah. So it helps to have those types of people.
I know.
Around.
We literally didn't even have a conversation. I was like, damn, this dude doesn't even know me yet. Like, but
no, I that's another thing that I love about podcasting is I have no. I mean, we never
you walk
met
in blind.
Person. Yeah, I walked in relatively.
But
blind.
It makes it like more like cool. It's like
it's
shit.
Authentic. It's everything I wanted out of this.
Yeah, I love hearing that. And literally, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, bro, I want something as a documentation to look back on and be like, oh, before I like had it in writing, I knew that, well, I mean, obviously, if I've been doing this for 7 years, I like had a good feeling that they would, like, I would not just sacrifice my whole entire future unless I was pretty sure that it would work out. But at the same time, like, now I finally have it, like, okay, the stars are aligning. Like, oh shit, I thought it was about to happen this morning. Like, that's why it was bougie as hell last night at that hotel.
No, that's an exciting time.
I know, and it's weird because, like, you can't. It's weird trying to prepare for tomorrow when you don't know which tomorrow you're gonna be in. Like, that's tough.
Oh, for sure.
Like, oh shit, am I about to wake up in Green Bay tomorrow, or do I have to go, or am I living in Toronto and all the people that I like am really close with, like, I didn't even get to say goodbye to because like my deal just happened and they want me there now.
Well, and whenever you have a project like this, you put so much into it that you, with all of the being in your body, you want it to succeed.
Oh,
and just to be confident and knowing where you're going.
Well, you're a Kanye fan, so you get it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Like I said, dude, rap music has a blueprint.
Yeah.
And that blueprint, okay, that trilogy, Jay-Z made that statement, like, hey, if you are from the streets or if you're struggling, if you want to make it in America, and that's why he felt it was that important to title his Star trilogy that, Blueprint 1, 2, 3. He could have just kept it at 1, but he was like, no, we have to imprint it into their lives. Jay-Z passed that on to Kanye. Who is Drake's favorite artist? Kanye. Lil Wayne, who is Lil Wayne's favorite artist? Jay-Z. Who signed Drake? Lil Wayne. Literally, Lil Wayne taught Drake everything he needed to know. Drake took it and ran with it. It's been dominating the rap game for 10 years.
Yeah.
That is literally a blueprint.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It is definitely something, a formula they got down and were able to share and pass on to other people they thought were...
They saw what their idols were doing. And, by the way, all these people I just listed grew up without father figures. So what did they do? They studied their idols because that became their wisdom and knowledge. And then, boom, now Drake's about to hire the biggest screenwriter to ever exist. So that blueprint's about to just get passed down.
Love it. Aside from screenwriting...
okay, The Weeknd, right now, the biggest 2 artists in the world are Drake and The Weeknd. Drake passed that to The Weeknd, so it's like...
Another
I told you, there's a blueprint. Like,
another one down the line.
Yeah.
As far as... screenwriting, you're obviously very passionate about kind of pop culture in general.
Yeah.
What I love asking and I love getting into people's sides that they normally don't share.
Oh yeah, I know.
Is there anything that you do in your life that is something
surprising?
Most people don't normally get to see or is surprising?
Well, yeah, so okay, I start my day and like at least the first half of my day is like I think about my writing. I like listen. I smoke and I listen to music because, like I said, I get my knowledge from music, as you see. And I literally just manifest. I think a lot about my future and how to, like, if you have a problem in front of you, you should probably, and you want it to be solved, you should probably ask yourself how to solve that problem as many times as you can. So, the first half of my day, like, I might be on Instagram or Snapchat, but it's usually just like, oh, I thought of something or I heard a lyric that I like, so here's a post. But, like, I'm not actually on my phone. Like, people can text me, unless you're a guy best friend. Like, but I'm not texting, like, girls or anything or looking up stupid shit. Like, I'm
focused.
Yeah.
Hyper focused.
For, like, at least the first 3/4 of my day. And then when I'm writing and I need a distraction, I, like, use that as the time to, like, socialize and, like... Because, dude, sitting down and writing is not easy.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's kind of like tennis. Like, you kind of need, like, a volley going before you get in, like, a mode.
Oh, with any creative work in general, if you're not if you don't get in a flow, or if you're not in a good rhythm, or you're out of practice even.
Exactly. It's literally a muscle in your brain.
Yep.
And the more you flex it, the better and easier you get at it.
Yep.
But you still have to like activate it every night.
It's like how people always talk about how if you pack your day with just staying busy.
Exactly. If you ever need something,
start out tired, but as time goes on, it's going to become the norm, and you're going to start being way more productive. You're going to be getting way more done.
You like form this mental callus, and that's exactly what you need in life, because life is not easy.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. So you spend a lot of time on your mental.
Oh yeah. So okay, not only I'm not obsessed with pop culture, even though I definitely monitor it, because like I mean if that's how people monetize their art, or is that the word?
Monetize. And
you kind of need like if you're in pop culture, you should probably like, which my show will be in. Like, you should probably know how the game works. Like there's a reason First Class debuted at #1 with Jack Harlow this past like week, because that one little snippet and all this like purposeful social media accounts like Complex, like Hot New Hip Hop, like they're on good terms with the artists that they want to be on. So you have to understand that world if you want to succeed in it. Like you can try to rebel against it, but that's probably not going to get you far. But I definitely I like do a lot of audiobooks. I do a lot of interviews. I'm obsessed with like interviews and podcasts of people I respect, because it's like I said, there's a blueprint. Like,
it's a glimpse into a side that you normally don't get to see.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, if you like them for their art, like you should probably figure out how the fuck they made it to that platform so they could show their art.
Much.
Yeah. So I and that's how I studied my like career goals, or like schemed on them. It was just a ton of interviews, ton of audiobooks. Like I'm obsessed with Jordan Peterson. I'm not saying I agree with everything he says, but like that dude thinks for sure. And I think if you listen, everything that comes into your headset or your AirPods, whatever, like that's knowledge that you are feeding your brain.
Do you, because I think me personally, I do a lot of the same things, and I consume probably an unreasonable amount of content in a day. Are you on the same level where, like, more than 3 or 4 hours of the day are just spent consuming other people's content?
Yeah. And literally, my all-time favorite playlist on my phone, which if you want to hack to controlling your moods, you should probably make a playlist for every mood. And then and so you can be like, okay, if I'm sad and I want to use this sadness and turn it into like work or ambition, I should probably listen to music that will make me do that. So, like, I think for artists, if you want to be good at art, you should probably consume a lot of good art. Like,
I admit, that makes sense. Like, it makes a whole lot
rather
of sense.
than listening to fucking Lil Pump, like,
sure,
or whatever. Like, okay, if you're listening to party music all day, like, at some point, like, what are you gonna do when you're not partying?
Right. I mean, it's all relative to your perspective and where you're trying to go.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you value, like, relaxing on a beach and that's how you want to spend your life, which is perfectly fine, then, like...
Study up. How do people do that?
Well, exactly. Well, not even that, but just, like, okay, whatever... This is funny. My grandpa has this saying, and it's, if you want to be a bum, be the best bum you can be. So... For me, I want to be successful, so I should probably listen to music that has the message of success. Like,
almost like hardwire your brain to always be thinking that.
You have to, yeah. And
do you ever have down days where you're?
No, not really.
No, not really.
I like my down days. So, what's crazy? My best art, the script that literally just got me like in this position where I'm about to get my deal. So I went through this 4-month process with Warner Brothers, and it was DC Comics. They are introducing like a new wave of diverse characters because like Batman, Superman, Flash, all white guys, like 30s, 20s. not really relatable anymore to the broad spectrum of this world.
Absolutely.
So they took me through this 4-month interview process, and I only found out about it because this this friend from the past was like, "Hey, my uncle is the one that's running the whole thing, and I told him about you. You should apply." So I did, and that was a 4-month interview process, and it was super stressful because what I said before, like, it's hard to plan for tomorrow if you don't know what tomorrow is. So that's like, and for me, who functions on scheming like so specifically,
there has to be a plan.
Yeah, like I'm like I guess a control freak for my future, and like so that was a tough 4 months, just like not knowing what my future held. And I had to literally learn all these backstories on superheroes and stuff like that, and that was a lot too. Like I'm not a superhero guy. I love Batman, but that's because Batman's like, I mean, it's psychological, like using pain and obsession to like drive ambition, like taking all your trauma and using it for good. That's like why Batman is my hero. But by the end of those 4 months, I was worn. I was like, I don't care about all these superheroes. And then I thought I was gonna get that deal done because I'm literally like still talking to the niece of this guy that's running the whole competition, like. She's seeing him on the holidays, and like I paid this artist like $1,000 to literally draw out the comic that I wrote for the writing prompt, just because I'm in this big nationwide competition, but I know the guy that's running it, and I know that his niece is going to be at Thanksgiving, so if I have a comic that she can hand him, like he'll remember me.
It's all about people you know.
Yeah, so I went through this, and I'm thinking I'm about to get signed to DC Comics, which I was like, and I believe in everything they stand for. That company is amazing. Not just DC Comics, but the Milestone Initiative is like the diverse characters. They all came from the same company that DC bought. So like Static Shock, do you know Static Shock? Mm-mm. Okay. It doesn't matter.
Sorry,
but no, I'm not like I said, I'm not a superhero guy either. But all of a sudden, it happened the day after San Fran beat us in the playoffs. Sorry to ruin everyone's day. But, so yeah, I got, like, my heart broken by the Packers. And then the day after, I found out that I didn't get the DC job. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just went 4 months, like, of my time that I hold so sacred.
Grinding, trying to
learn everything so I'm, like, so I can hit the ground running. And then, all of a sudden, I get the call that I wasn't expecting. I was like, what the fuck? So I was pissed off, and I used that anger to rewrite two of the series that I already had made. I, knew in my head that, I could make improvements. And I was like, oh, once I get it picked up. Because they were already, quality scripts. But I was like, all right, I'll make edits once I get my deal done. I don't need to rewrite the whole fucking thing.
Interesting. Do you often revisit older scripts that you have ideas for? And
if anytime I feel if I think of a good idea, then I'll go and insert that. But okay, so my very first script that got me the studio pitch with Fox, that's the one I went and rewrote. And I rewrote it because Euphoria was becoming such a big hit, and I was like, all right, the script that I wrote that was in quality condition beforehand, I was like, this is too much like Euphoria. And I'm trying to work for dreamcrew Productions that has Euphoria. That doesn't make sense. So I had to completely rewrite that to make a more singular point of view. So now it's basically if you like Fesco in Euphoria, then you can just watch his life. And then other characters come in. You might see Rue on a day, but
it's singularly focused.
Exactly. And that's all I did. I wrote at first. It was the title "Be Good or Be Good at It." Mm-hmm. That could be Euphoria's title.
Yeah.
Because it was that similar, and that it wasn't a bad thing. I knew it was that's another reassurance. When I saw it coming to existence, I was like, damn. And Epcot,
I had the idea before it happened.
Yeah, and years before, because that was the very first pitch I got. but it's like reassurance, like, okay, you're onto something. You've got a taste of the market. And that's what, when I was out in LA selling it, I was like, hey, we need a R-rated teen drama because the dramas beforehand, like Riverdale, like
yeah.
what?
I've watched every season of Riverdale just to like.
Dude, it's
after
corny.
the first
I can't
season,
do that shit.
It gets so bad that it's so good, dude.
Oh my god,
it's so bad, it's so good. So
I might regret this if someone ever finds it. Like I might like the writer of Riverdale in the future, but I'm sorry, I can't do that. Like,
the seasons have gone way too far, and it is just hysterical.
The good thing is, and it was like a blessing in disguise because, like, as a 25-year-old, like I wrote that script 21 when I was at Oshkosh in college. Like that was the life I was living. Like now I could give a fuck about relationships like that. Like
right, you've moved on to something else.
Like I'm a grown ass man. I don't care about like fucking those relationship like little pointless things.
Sure. I'm sure as you go through life and experience new things, it'll obviously dictate what types of things you're writing about.
So basically, so I took the original script and I took like everything I liked and the backbone of that series, and I was just like, all right, we're gonna take that into the rewrite and then make it singular and just add more singular like narratives. And it turned out the best work I could have like possibly had. And that's why, like, okay, when you said, do I believe in karma? Like the reason I think destiny exists is because like every time I've been like I thought I was about to like make it, or this script was about to get bought, all of a sudden like 2 weeks will pass and all of a sudden I think of something better and I'm just like, damn, I wouldn't have made it better if that would have gotten this. So it's like every time I have a down day, like I usually flip it to my advantage and be like, and that's what you have to do. Like
that's a great,
if you're gonna be sad and mad, like might as well make use of it.
Sure yeah. I love that, actually. I find a lot of the days where...
you know who taught me that?
Yeah, who?
Batman.
Batman, like, that's awesome.
Literally, like, that's why I loved it. Like, I was an angry kid, and I was just like, all right, if I just obsess over something and take this pain and make it good, like...
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of people can take something from that are having issues with their day and are in those moods where they are... kind of down, just take it and use it for something good. I love that.
Oh, okay. So one thing I do want to talk about on about this series, it's funny. So like when I was talking about the PowerPoints and everything, I definitely like if you had to pick what artist that I think like looks like me the most, or if it's a show based on like a dramatized version of my life, like. What actor do I want to play that? Like, as a writer, you think, and you ask yourself that. So I was like, oh, Zayn is like a cooler version of me. Like, so I purposely wrote it for Zayn, and I used like his music video clips as like for the PowerPoints and stuff. But what's crazy is the specific like 3 music videos that I used because I was like, oh, this is the vibe of the character. He wrote those because he wants to get into acting. That's how he started. He was an actor before he went to like Britain's Got Talent and became One Direction.
Damn, so you're definitely doing your research on the individuals and
definitely. So he wants to be acting. He's literally voiced a million times that he's just waiting for the right script. Well, I fucking wrote it and I purposely kept it to the character that he obviously likes if he did a trilogy of music video characters based off that.
That's incredibly smart.
But in a music video, you don't get to like, I mean, you see it, you see this character, but he's singing for like 3 minutes. You like follow along with the song, but there's not an actual story. Like,
it's a much smaller scale.
Yeah, exactly. There's no narrative. So like, I just gave that character that he already loves and loves like playing and portraying. Like, I just gave him a backstory, and now he's gonna run with it.
Love that.
Yeah,
love that. I appreciate you coming out and taking the time to sit down and to kind of get a look into your head. So
last thing too, because if you're wondering the deal I keep like talking about. Okay, so Riz Ahmed is this big, we were talking about it at the beginning. He's this big actor in the UK, and over there, like, tension, like, is at an all-time high with like refugees and things like that. So he's very like he dedicated his whole career, acting career, which he's very good at. Like the projects he picks to do are like purposely showing brown people in a good light.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not pushing any agendas. It's literally just, well, I mean, some projects it is, but that's not his intent. He just wants people to see.
Get them in front of the camera.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you were an Arab in the U.S. the last 20 years for acting, like, especially right after 9/11, which, like, I mean, Riz is, like, 10 years older than me. But if you're an actor and you're Middle Eastern, like, what do you think those roles were those 20 years after 9/11? When we were at war with Afghanistan, it was literally like, oh, do you want to be a terrorist?
Right.
Or like...
For all the wrong reasons.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, oh, if you're pursuing... Like, if I was a writer trying to make it back then, and I'm saying like, oh, market me like as a screenwriter, like... if
never would have happened.
Yeah. So he's purposely looking for Arab storytellers, and I just happen to be that. And right now, the Writers Guild of America just like did an article last year. Middle Eastern writers are the minority of minorities in Hollywood.
Wow.
So it's like 0.0 like 2%. And so he's trying to fix that and just like heal racism with art, because that's how you heal racism.
Representation.
Yeah, exactly.
A huge thing, and it's so important for future generations.
Exactly.
To see,
so you have Riz, who looks just like an older version of Zayn, and then you have Zayn, and the first season, it's literally like that's your like mentorship. The whole season is kind of like training day, like mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
But you just see two very impressive Arabs or Southeast Asian people
on the same
on
show.
The screen, and it was written by exactly. Yeah. So it's like, oh, very shit, cool. Like this is very like it's a moment like for all of us. Like
that's huge.
Yeah. So that's the reason this deal is gonna happen, is because his passion for that. Because I was literally, it was like 3 a.m. and I put a little collage together on this like Instagram like photo collage app called Layout, and I just put all three of us, and I put like writer, protagonist, antagonist, and I sent it to Riz's like best friends, because I knew Riz like 5 years ago. Riz is literally speaking to the government about representation. Like that's how passionate he is about it. So I was like, all right, his friends know that. So I just sent him that photo, and then all of a sudden they were like, hell yeah, Riz is going to love this shit. So this past week, I had to pitch it to Riz's team. Riz's team is on board. Now they just have to green light it with Riz, the final check. But they are all, like, they haven't been this excited in a while. And that's why today, I had a big FaceTime at noon, and I was like, I thought I would get my answer if Riz said yes or not. And it was just them saying that, oh, we had a busy week and we haven't shown Riz yet, but we're very excited. And then we like collaborated on our best like way of showing Riz. So that happened today. And I thought I would have an answer for this podcast, and I thought I was about to be like popping champagne and shit.
I wish you all the best, man. Yeah. And I have no doubts that you will literally manifest exactly what you're talking about.
See, and the thing about manifestation, like that's the good thing about writing things down, and like it works because I'm a writer. But like, if anyone just wanted something, just like I said before, if you have a problem, ask yourself every day how to fix that problem until you do.
And eventually it'll happen.
Yeah.
Because you've seen it so much, and you've digested it, and you've made it happen yourself.
And your first solution isn't always what's going to happen. Like,
I love that.
You have to have like 10 attempts half the time. I don't know. Probably more. A lot more.
No. I thank you so much for coming out and sharing your story with all of us, and
it was refreshing too, because like I said, this is a side that I couldn't really talk about for like 7 years, except with like my closest of friends, and even them, like they're working on their own impressive journey, so like they'll understand and support, but it's nice to actually have like things tangibly coming together.
I love the confidence. Yeah, I love it. I have no doubts that you'll make all of this happen. where can people find you to follow your journey beyond this podcast once you do sign that deal?
On Instagram. Oh, Instagram's like my writing. Like, I feel like everyone on Instagram kind of knows by now that I pursue writing. On Facebook and like Twitter is mainly me talking about Aaron Rodgers and Giannis, but my writing, I guess, if you support that, go on Instagram, Con Carter. I post a lot of lyrics because that's what I do all day. I just listen to music. And everything I post, like, it's usually, I mean, up until now, it was purposely like, oh, okay, if the right person stumbles on my page, like, this is my portfolio.
Sure.
So, yeah, if you think I post dramatic photos or anything like that, that's why. I really am not that serious all the time, but...
Love it. Well, the people know where to find you, and we will be watching you with a close eye as you make your rise to the top. So
I appreciate
Con,
that
for coming out.
Yes, sir.
And
sorry, I keep forgetting like this is my first time in front of a camera
Oh,
and
you're good.
talking into
You're
a
good.
mic, so
It's intimidating.
you just like completely forget, and then you're like, oh shit, was I just like leaning the wrong way or things like that?
You did extremely well.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And I'm so excited just to see where this all takes you.
I know.
So.
See, and like I said, if you finally have the courage to like actually put your art into the world, like usually good things gravitate towards you.
I can think of no better quote to end it on than that.
Exactly.
So let's run it out.